Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Dick Gammick, Washoe County District Attorney. Sam Shadd is out of town today. Let's turn to Ray Hagar to see who we have.
Thanks, Dick. Our first guest is former State Senator Joe Neal. He was the last Democrat to run for governor. We'll talk to him about the upcoming race. Our second guest is Steve Robinson, the governor's man about natural resources. We'll talk to him about Nevada's liquid gold, which is water.
And coming up on today's pundit panel is Bruce Breslow, Derek Morse, and Jason Geddes on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
High-tech companies demand perfect world amenities. They require clean, reliable power, state-of-the-art fiber optic communications, and clean water sources. In a perfect world, companies would have immediate access to rail and interstate freeways. There would be 4-lane expressways that shorten shipping times and provide convenient commute routes for valued employees. Well, the future is now, and it's here. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
When making your decision as where to play golf, consider the resort at Red Hawk. You know you have made the right choice the moment you arrive. The friendly staff welcomes you to our award-winning pro shop. You know you've made the right decision on the first tee. The Lakes course is in the best condition in years. You know you've made the right choice after you've played 18 holes. The resort at Red Hawk, the right choice.
Nevada Newsmakers is sponsored in part by the Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association.
As an employer, did you know you can be held liable for negligent hiring? A background screening by Employer Links can uncover criminal records, like alcohol and drug convictions. It can verify the applicant's education, driving records, and professional licenses. Employer Links can check civil records, registered sex offender records, and Social Security fraud. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
I tell you, John, this industry has really changed.
Tell me about it.
You seem to do pretty well last year. What's your secret?
No secrets. Although I'll tell you something. The smartest thing I did was sign up with Pro Group Management.
Really? Yeah, they do workers' comp, right?
Yeah, their services are great. And get this, they saved me 30%. I've heard they saved others 50%.
That works for me.
Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the show. I'm Ray Hagar from the Reno Gazette Journal. My co-host is Dick Gammick, the Washoe County District Attorney. And on the telephone is former State Senator Joe Neal of North Las Vegas. Senator Neal, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, and how are you?
We're great here.
Good morning, Senator Neal. And as Ray just said, former Senator Joe Neal. What do you do with your time now? What's your life like?
I'm just retired. After spending about 33 years with the legislature, I'm not doing anything. I'm retired. I don't have any other job.
Any grandchildren or any family members that you're spending your time with, or just kicking back?
Oh, yes. I spend a lot of time with the grandchildren and my 5 children.
Super.
Senator, back in 2002, you were the Democratic torchbearer for the gubernatorial election. As you know now, Senator Denis Titus has declared, and Assembly Speaker Richard Perkins is expected to declare. How do you see this race, Senator? Who do you think will come out on top?
I think that Titus probably going to win the primary, the Democratic primary, because of the women vote in the state and the way that she has made her announcement. She announced in Douglas County, and I think that was because when this lady Dallas was running against Lawrence Jacobson up there, and Titus supported her, and Lawrence and them made Titus campaign issue rather than Dallas, and he went on to beat Dallas very badly in that particular race. And so for her to go into that county and make her announcement, and then further make the announcement in the northern area, and then come down here, I think that gave her a good shot in terms of letting the people know that she was in the race. And Perkins has not done anything just yet, so I don't know whether or not he's going to be running.
Okay. Now, back in 2002, Senator, you were the first black candidate in the state's history to advance to the gubernatorial general election. You didn't get much support financially or morally from the Democrats. How do you feel about that? Are you still a little bit bitter about that?
Oh, no. I'm not bitter at all about that. Given the fact that the black community has always supported, the Democratic Party, I thought maybe that the party itself would step up and support me after becoming the gubernatorial nominee for the Democratic Party. But they did not, so I don't hold any grudge against anyone, for not doing that. Maybe they learned a lesson from that, and we would see, how the community, the black community, going to react now that this nomination is coming up, and if Titus is successful winning, we would like to see just what's going to happen here,
Okay.
Senator, you mentioned it a minute ago about when you were talking about Dina Titus and her running about some of the issues. Can you just real quickly maybe lay out what you think are going to be the top 2 or 3 issues in this gubernatorial race this time?
Of course, they always talk about taxes, and of course Titus, so issues, as I read in the paper that she's running on is the Yucca Mountain issue, and bringing the state together, making one state, and that's what we have to do. But one of the major issues that I think that should be of concern to the Democratic Party and to the state in general is the fact that the urban areas, becoming very crowded with people, and out in the rural areas, we're beginning to lose population, and we don't have any means by which at the present times, in putting forth plans and positions to try to correct that by having some type of transportation mode to go into the small communities and try to relieve some of the population in the urban areas, such as Las Vegas and the Reno areas.
Senator, there's a Las Vegas man, Sean O'Sullivan, that is trying to get together a white people's party. And I just wanted to see your reaction. Do you think this would be a divisive thing in state politics?
I saw that and I read about that, and it was kind of funny in a sense, because what the statement that was made, that he wanted to see that the majority of whites, to be represented. Well, we have a majority of whites in all of the parties that are represented in the state right now. So he seemed to be one of the dysfunctional type individuals who cannot negotiate within, say, the Republican Party or the Democratic Party or the Libertarian or IAP or the American Party or those other parties that exist. And I did not see any other need for a white party as such, other than to focus on, as they have seemed to indicate, this issue involving immigration, and also making an issue of race again. So it's kind of speak of Hitler-right policy rather than trying to improve the state.
Senator, just one real quick one, because we got to finish up now. With all these people that are busy running for the governorship this year, are we going to see Joe Neal on the ballot?
No, you will not see Joe Neal on any ballot. After serving 33 years in the state legislature as a senator, I'm all done. You might see my kids somewhere in the future, you know, but not Joe Neal himself.
All right, Senator, thank you very much for taking time with us today. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Thank you, Senator.
Thanks.
Videotape copy of any Nevada Newsmakers program. Call 775-857-2244. The tapes are $20 each, including shipping.
My family started this business 27 years ago.
We work hard to serve our customers and our community.
But it's getting harder and harder to keep the doors open.
For example, our workers' comp is going through the roof. Isn't anyone on my side anymore?
The Retail Association of Nevada is. If you're a small business owner, we can cut your workers' comp by up to 50%. Lobby for your interests and keep you informed. Put us to work today.
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us cleaner and safer than ever before. To learn more about America's natural resources, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Pepper Mill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Pepper Mill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's Premier Steakhouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you dining?
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers.
Thanks for joining us. Today we have Dick Gammick, and with us is Steve Robinson, the Governor's Natural Resource Advisor. Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers, Steve.
Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Steve, and welcome.
Good morning.
I know that Ray's going to get into some water issues here in a minute, but I think you've got responsibility for several other issues, too. But why don't we just start out with this time of the year and all the water we've had this year. What's it looking like on the fire season?
It's looking very rough, particularly out in the eastern, northern part of the country. We've had probably 300,000 to 400,000 acres burn already out there, and some of the areas prime wildlife habitat, prime mule deer habitat that we're not going to get back for a generation.
How about down the southern end of the state? How's it looking down there?
The same down there. They've had, of course, precipitation that they haven't seen in over 20 years, so a lot of the areas that would never burn are burning now. And again, destroying habitat and threatening a lot of homes where homes didn't used to be in areas that we really never thought were a threat for wildfire.
Now, Steve, let's talk about water for 1 minute. The Las Vegas, Clark County, they would like to tap into water in rural Nevada, both in White Pine County on the east and Lincoln County, more on the southwest part of the state. It seems to me like the two counties have a totally opposite view of sharing their water with Las Vegas, and White Pine County is adamant they don't want their water going to Clark County. Could you maybe expand on that?
So far that's the case, Ray. I think what you'll see happening over the next several years, though, is kind of an evolving process. The rights are not necessarily owned by the county, and so when you talk about taking water rights away from a county, if a private individual or a company like this Southern Nevada Water Authority actually has filed on those rights, they have certain rights to them. And so in many cases, it's not up to the county to give away their rights per se, unless they've actually filed on them themselves. This is going to be a multi-year process. The whole idea of the pipeline, which is going to bring the water down south, if it in fact is approved, has to go through a federal approval process in addition to the state engineer and the state process. Very cumbersome, very lengthy, very complex.
Okay. Is water the one issue that would stifle growth in both Reno and Las Vegas? Is a key issue there?
It absolutely would. It's always been an issue, as you know, in Nevada. But with this phenomenal growth, the lack of water availability, those two elements coming together, it is the issue for the next 20 years.
Okay.
A few years ago, there was a story, myth, rumor, whatever you want to call it, floating around that there was a huge body of water, subterranean body of water discovered out around Ely and coming toward the central end of the state. But the issue with it was so deep that they didn't know if they would be able to get to it. Is there any validity to that, or have you ever heard it, or?
Sure, I've heard it. The issue of what they refer to as deep carbonate aquifers running in this state and some other states has always been a point of speculation. Is it down there? There's been money spent by the federal government to try to find out if it's down there. And the conclusion so far is that we don't know.
Okay. Steve, one thing, if you could explain this to maybe our tourists in the area, the comments that I get is that our casinos, especially in Las Vegas, are wasting water with all these giant water shows, and but that's really not the case, is it? Those
Southern Nevada has taken steps, particularly in the last 10 years, to really meet that challenge of conservation. I don't know exactly what the percentages are, but they've increased their water conservation efforts tremendously over the last decade, encouraging people to put in non-water consuming vegetation, that kind of thing. Actually paying for people to convert their lawns to a rock type of garden. That type of thing has been instilled in the not only with private individuals but with industry and commercial properties around Las Vegas, and it's taken hold.
Okay. What is the future of Walker Lake? You know, it's right down by Hawthorne. Hawthorne is a town in crisis, not only with the lake level falling, but also with the Army Depot perhaps being closed in the near future. What about the Walker Lake issue?
No question. Walker Lake is not only important to the folks that live around it and benefit from it, and their economy benefits from it, but that tremendous fish resource out there that could be lost sometime in the relatively near future. But it's really a fairly simple solution, although it's hard to get there. I mean, the lake needs more water. And in order to do that, you are playing with people's rights. And as Dick knows, you can't just take those rights away. That has to be negotiated. In a final analysis, this is a federal issue, and it's going to have to be decided at the federal agency level and perhaps the federal court level.
Okay.
This has been a real year of extremes weather-wise, Steve. We've had cold, deep, and we've had hot, just cooking. How's the wildlife handling that, and in particular the chukar, if you don't mind talking about those out in the rurals?
Yeah, well, I think in particular because of all the fires we've had over the last really 99, where we burned over 1.5 million acres just in Nevada, and the subsequent years, all those wildlife are stressed out there. And so when you have the cold, heavy snow winter, and then the hot summer, it puts stress on all the wildlife, including chukar. Although chukar is kind of a unique breed, as you know, and I understand this year's crop is doing pretty well.
Okay, that's all we have time for. Steve, thank you very much. We'll be right back with our pundit panel after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
For more than a decade, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has been helping the community embrace conservation as a way of life. That includes replacing more than 50 million square feet of grass with water-smart landscaping. During the worst drought on record, watering restrictions and tough landscaping codes have reduced the community's water use by billions of gallons, even as thousands of new residents were moving into Nevada. That's smart water management, and that's our promise to Nevada.
When making your decision as where to play golf, consider the resort at Red Hawk. You know you have made the right choice the moment you arrive. The friendly staff welcomes you to our award-winning pro shop. You know you've made the right decision on the first tee. The Lakes course is in the best condition in years. You know you've made the right choice after you've played 18 holes. The resort at Red Hawk, the right choice.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
You bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
As an employer, did you know you can be held liable for negligent hiring? A background screening by Employer Links can uncover criminal records, like alcohol and drug convictions. It can verify the applicant's education, driving records, and professional licenses. Employer Links can check civil records, registered sex offender records, and Social Security fraud. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
You are watching Nevada Newsmakers.
And here we are with our Power Pundit panel. First, we have Bruce Breslow. He's Vice President of CB Richard Ellis and the former Mayor of Sparks, and you did a great job while in office. Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, Ray.
We also have Derek Morris, RTC Lobbyist, and Terry Hickman from the Nevada State Education Association. Welcome to you all. Dick?
Okay, let's throw one out here. We just got off the line here a few minutes ago with former Senator Joe Neal, and he predicts that Dina Titus is going to be the Democratic candidate for governor. Throw it out there.
Well, you can't be governor of Nevada if you talk funny. It's just, it's not possible. And you can't live in Nevada that long and still look like or sound like you're from Georgia. It won't happen.
You really think her accent is going to be an issue?
I think it'll kill her in votes as soon as people start actually hearing her. You're in the legislature all the time. You're used to her. The people out here, oh, man.
Well, I don't know that that's going to be that big a factor. I'm pleased, regardless of what party you're with. A good contest is a good contest, and I think Dina would be a viable candidate and probably the first viable candidate the Democrats have put forward in quite a few election cycles, quite honestly. So it'll be a good race.
Can't touch Perkins. Well, won't happen.
The polls show that education is one of the top priorities, so let's see where the candidates stand before we see who wins.
Okay. Since I surprised Ray with that one, now let me jump what I was going to ask you about. This morning I had an editorial in the paper about the Patriot Act, and the thing they were criticizing was the fact that the FBI and other government agencies are watching what they were calling civil rights, environmental, and other advocacy groups, and listed among those were the American Civil Liberties Union and Greenpeace. And I'm going to throw out here now, how do you tell the difference between what is a righteous, well-known organization that's up front and a terrorist organization?
Well, you got to watch everybody. I mean, if you I guess I'm old-fashioned. If you haven't done anything wrong, you can watch me all you want. And if I'm a terrorist and I know there's certain groups that aren't going to be looked at, those are the first ones I'd sign up for. Hug a tree and then blow it up later.
It's unfortunate that we do have a history in this country in the last 3 or 4 decades where we've seen real abuses. And I think that's what has many people concerned. I mean, and you don't have to be a card-carrying member of the ACLU to have those kind of concerns. We have seen these abuses, and I think that's why people are questioning whether or not these types of things go too far. What are they looking at? What data are they collecting? And I think that that's a healthy debate. We need to have that discussion, and let's do what is effective, and then let's.
When did you get so middle of the road?
Well, I'm sorry. Terrorism is a terrible thing, and we want to fight that. But there are abuses, and one of the concerns always is, do we, in combating terrorists, become those type of closed-minded societies that we're trying to combat in this world, and that's a fine balance, and it's a healthy discussion. We've got to have it, and it's not going to be decided at one time and then it's decided forever. This is going to be an ongoing discussion.
Well, Terry, what do you think the Patriot Act would have been re-upped if there were not the London bombings? Was that a big factor in this?
I'm sure it would have been re-upped anyway, because terrorism is not going to go away. In fact, I look at the London example. What has really worked with what's happened in London, even though they couldn't prevent it, The City of London has more cameras than any other city apparently in the world, and they can photograph virtually everyone. Now, of course, that sounds like 1984 to many, but it has helped in finding the terrorists and identifying the terrorists. I believe that we have a government that will be responsible, and I think we live in an age that's very different from a few years ago, and that we have to do all we can to protect our civil rights, but also protect our citizenry against those who want to hurt us.
Okay. I got to get back to this, Bruce. You really think that Dina Titus' Southern accent is going to be a factor in the gubernatorial election?
I can't tell you how many people, after they hear her speak, are going, where's she from?
Yeah, but how many people have moved here from all over the nation in the past 20 years?
How long has she lived here? Give it up already. I mean, Sam Shad's from London. You don't hear him walking around talking like this anymore. I mean, how long has she been here? Come on, get with the program.
Well, I've got to believe that if the voters in this state, rather than looking at the issues, if that's where they're deciding things on, then we really are in trouble. And I don't believe that's going to be a factor. I mean, in all due respect.
Normally I'm the politically correct one, but I'm having a little fun.
Oh, this is great. No, but
they wanted me to stir it up a little bit.
People have come to me and said, what about that accent? It grates on me. And I said, I have really no problem with it. And that's why I'm surprised that it really is an issue.
So you're a liberal? Is that
okay? Moving right along here.
I'm a centrist, y'all.
John Roberts, the president's nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court, who's been described as a conservative, this morning the media released that they weren't going to turn over papers that he had created for prior presidents. Good, bad, or indifferent?
Well, I think it's amazing that we want to pass laws that will allow people to intrude in every corner of your life, and yet, when we're looking at something as important as a Supreme Court nominee, that there's information that's being withheld. I just find this is kind of an incongruity here that we need to do away with. These are extremely important appointments. That person is going to probably serve for 30 or 40 years on the court, making very important decisions, and I think the public does have a right to know what their thoughts were, where they're coming from, understanding that people evolve. We all change over time.
Oh, good, Terry, real quick.
He has nothing to fear. We have nothing to fear, and finding out exactly what he believes on everything. I just don't see a problem with that.
Well, I see a big parallel with the Bolton nomination for the UN, but that's all we got time for today, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
Here at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, water resources come from fresh, clean groundwater, approved by state permits. The water is pumped from wells to million-gallon storage tanks and then distributed to TRI companies. Another amenity is our investment in a state-of-the-art wastewater treatment plant. This disposal system converts waste to clean water for industrial applications. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevada.
South Reno's hotspot for food, fun, and friends is the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy great food 24 hours a day in the Dining Car Restaurant. For a quick bite and the best sandwiches in town, it's the Whistle Stop Deli. And for the best appetizers and menu selections and a large variety of cocktails, beers, and martinis, it's Sully's Sports Bar, Grill, and Nightclub. The Tamarack Junction is your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
Dick, who do we got coming up tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Bruce James, the public printer, and Barbara Scheibel for gifted and talented students.
Okay, thanks for watching.